So you want to quit your 9-to-5 job in 2025. Well, there's some things that you definitely need to do before you quit your job. You do not want to just randomly quit your job. And I've seen videos where people do that, but I do not think it's smart, especially for someone like me. I'm older, I have a family, I have a lot of responsibilities, so I just can't be out here making decisions like that. But if you're new to the channel, I recently quit my 9-to-5 on July 4th, 2024, and I'm documenting that whole journey and just sharing information that could help someone else who wants to do the same thing that I did. So I'll link some of my videos in the description because I am making this a series where I'm gonna consistently make videos about it. So check those out in the video description. Yeah, but let's go ahead and get into the 6 things that you need to do. Do not quit your job until you do these 6 things. And these are 6 things that I did, and I think it made a big difference and just gave me a lot of peace of mind and more confidence making this decision. So the first thing is you need to have multiple streams of income. And you need to already be making money consistently. And I say multiple streams of income because you never know what's going to happen, and I just don't think it's smart to just rely on one thing. And I actually had a situation since I quit where one of my biggest income sources, which is a client that I do channel management for, and we also do some coaching, we had to stop working together for, I think it was 2 months. So 2 months of not, just a big chunk of my income cut out. But I was good because I had other streams of income. And at that time, I could focus more on those things and make more money to kind of compensate for the client that I lost. So that's the perfect example of you never know what's going to happen, and you need other things to fall back on just in case one of your income streams disappears. Or maybe, I know what I do with a lot of online stuff, some of that stuff can be inconsistent. So you just never really know what you're going to make that month. So having, I have about 5 or 6 income streams. So having all of those gives me a lot of peace of mind knowing that if something is low that month or I lose a client, I'm still good. I will be honest with the multiple streams of income. It does take some time to build. I know I hear people say certain stuff online. It does take time. Like, I've been working towards going full time for years, and I'll talk about it in those other videos that you can view in the video description. But it does take time to start stacking on different income streams. Like, it's something that you're not just gonna wake up tomorrow and have like 5 income streams. Like, it just takes time, and you have to learn more. That's really how I got into the multiple streams, just from investing in myself and learning, investing in my knowledge and learning more. And then I'm like, oh, okay, so I'm doing this already, and this kind of translates to this other income stream to where it makes sense for me to start focusing on that as well. Versus before that, I didn't really know about a lot of the different ways you can monetize. So it took me time and years to learn these things and to honestly just know that these things exist. A lot of the stuff that I do now, I didn't really do it in the past because I didn't know about it, and with the way social media is right now, and this light is on me, YouTube and Instagram, you have so many people teaching stuff, and really just, taking the time to learn all these new things is really paid off for me, and it could pay off for you as well. Second thing you should do before you quit your 9-to-5 is you want to have money saved. Like, this is a must. I would even say, if I didn't have money saved, I would have never quit my job. And I have like multiple streams of income. They're pretty consistent for the most part. There was a long period to where I was making like double, triple what I was making at my job. And even then, with all those things, I still wouldn't have quit if I didn't have money saved, just because the money saved, it just gives me peace of mind, right? It's just like, okay, if I don't make a lot this month, because as an entrepreneur in online stuff, the income fluctuates. I have some months where I make a bunch. I have another month where I don't make as much. So just having that money saved gives me peace of mind. And I know some people say, like, you should have, I think it's like, I hear a lot of people say like at least six months of expenses saved. I'd say that's good advice. I have, more than 6 months of expenses saved. But I would say at least if you have a couple of months of expenses saved, I think you should be good. I would say at least 2 to 3 months. I think that's a good place to start. What I'm saying is you don't have to have 6 or 8 months. I feel like if you're making a good amount of money, it's consistent for the most part, and you have multiple streams of income. Yeah, this part is very important. You definitely you want to have some money saved. Like, I have a family, I have a son. I mean, you just never know. I'm just, the older I've gotten, it's just, I say to myself, I just need to be prepared for whatever. Like, I haven't always been like this. When I was younger, it was more just thinking of the now and not being properly prepared, especially when it comes to finances. But now it's like, that's one of the most, I've learned, that's one of the most important things. And I need to be prepared for situations in anything, like unexpected expenses. Like, you just never know what's going to come up. So just having that safety blanket of having money saved, man, it reduces so much just stress and anxiety. Trust me, like, I suffer from anxiety big time, but just having that savings, like, that helps so much for just like all the unexpected stuff life is going to throw at you. Like, even like when I quit my job, I think it was that next month, it was something we had to do. I think we had to like cut down a tree or something because it was like about to hit our house. And that stuff was like, how much did we spend? It was like $1,500 or something, right? But I had it saved, so I was good. But imagine if I didn't have that saved. I would have been so stressed out. And I had just quit my job, so I was like, oh man, like, I had lost that client. We were having unexpected expenses. It was something else that came up. So it's just like everything at once, right? So, and that's just kind of how things work. Like, things can go wrong at once, and you have all these expenses back to back at once. So you definitely need to have a good chunk of money saved. So that could be different for you, but I would say at least, money that can cover you for at least 2 to 3 months, I would say. So let's get into the third thing you need to do before you quit your job, and that is reduce your debt. Very important, crucial step right here. And the main thing with this, man, I think back to where I had so much debt, like mainly from like credit cards, and it just wipes away the money that you have. I don't think people realize that until you don't have a lot of debt and you see how much money you have in your account. It's like, dang, when I had debt, like most of my paycheck was going to the debt. So just reducing a lot of my debt, like you see that you have more money. And in a lot of cases, you'll see some people think that they need to go out, get another job, do a bunch of side hustles, but just reducing your debt, it can make it feel like you have a side gig, if you have that much debt. Hopefully that makes sense, because it's freeing up so much more extra money that you're gonna have. And I think a lot of people, well, I don't know this, but I'm assuming that a lot of people probably have more debt than they'd like. And some people continue to build on that debt, and they just never like understand that, dude, it's not helping. Like, it's just hurting you, right? You're not going to be able to make investments and invest in yourself and do what you truly want to do if you have a bunch of debt. So I would tell you to try to pay off a lot of your debt. Something that helped me was, like, for one, just really focusing on it and making it a priority. For me and my wife, like, we reached a point to where it was a priority for us. We sat down, we talked about it, and we wanted to reduce our debt and free up some money. So it has to be of importance to you for you to really do it and focus on it. And then, for me, having a bunch of side hustles, which I've been doing for years now before I quit my job, that helped me greatly with paying off all my debt, because that was extra income that I was bringing in. So a lot of that income, I was just throwing it at my debt, right? I wasn't spending it. I was just paying off stuff because I had a goal in mind, and I knew that in the future, this was going to help me achieve that goal of being able to work for myself and quit my job, because I don't have a lot of debt. Like, man, it's crazy. It's really crazy. When you don't have a lot of debt, it opens up your eyes to so much and just frees up so much extra money that you have versus when you had a lot of debt. All right, so the fourth thing you need to do is reduce random expenses. This is something that helped me free up a lot of money, and it helped a lot. So I actually did this before I quit my job. I went through a lot of my expenses, like entertainment type stuff. A lot of us have a lot of those expenses, Netflix, Hulu, all that stuff. And then some of my business expenses as well. I was looking at that stuff as well, because some of that stuff I wasn't even really using like that. And that can go for a lot of just little expenses that you have. You may not even be using that stuff. So it really helps to write down all the stuff and be like, okay, I'm not using this, or it's just not worth it. And just getting rid of that stuff. For me, just putting it on paper and seeing all those expenses, I was like, whoa. And then I was looking at certain stuff and I'm like, I'm not even using this. Or I could get something that doesn't cost as much. So that's something that helped me a lot, and it helped me free up like hundreds of dollars, I think. I can't remember when I wrote it down, but just like hundreds or $100 or something like that, just from, reducing certain expenses that weren't really doing anything for me, right? So, all right, so number 5, this was one that I kind of just threw in there. I think it's very valuable. It's something that really helped me a lot. You should talk to someone you trust. And for me, obviously I talked to my wife. We had a long discussion about it. Talked to my mom. These are people that I love, I trust, I care about. And it really helped for me to talk to a man, right? Someone that I in a sense look up to, and that is successful in their own way, or I view this person as being successful. This was one of my coworkers. He's an older guy, but we were very close and kind of looked at him like a father figure, right? My dad passed away when I was young, so never really had that male presence, you know what I mean? So just being able to talk to a male that's older than me, very successful, he gave me a lot of good insights, just that I couldn't get that from like my mom or my wife, or just hearing it from him. And I respect him and trust him. It just kind of helped me with that decision. That helped me a lot. I can't even front like that didn't help me. And he was very supportive, and he was pretty much pushing me to do it, right? So that kind of gave me that little kick as well. Like, okay, this guy believes in me as well, and he's like, man, you should do it, go for it, and his main advice was to have a plan. So that's something that we talked about a lot. So if you can run this idea by someone that you truly trust, I'm not just talking about like anybody, someone where you truly value their opinion, maybe they're someone that you aspire to be like, or that's pretty successful, that you look at them and like, they're successful, I want to kind of be like him in a sense, like achieve what he's achieved or live a similar lifestyle. I think that advice could really help you. All right, and the last thing I have for y'all, and this could have been number 1, and that is to have a plan. You got to have a plan, man. If you don't, for a decision that big, if you don't have a plan, you're most likely gonna fail. Like, I feel like with most stuff in life, especially like big decisions, you gotta have some kind of plan. Like, some people do things just kind of blindly, or they kind of react on emotion. Those things usually don't go well, especially for me. So this was very serious. Like, I actually wrote down all this stuff like expenses, how much money I make, tracking how much I was making from those side hustles, having a plan like, okay, what am I going to focus on as far as these income streams? And also, like, what are some ideas that I can kind of start to formulate of what I'm going to add on maybe in 2025, like, because I have to be thinking of new stuff as well, like new ideas to make more income. So just kind of having that plan, it really helps ease your mind and just your confidence going into it. Because it's a big decision, man. A lot of people, a big part of not doing it is fear. And even me having all this stuff in place, it was still like some fear, obviously, and some worry. So working on that for me was having a plan, talking to people, and doing all these things that I mentioned in this video. And it really helped ease my mind and helped me go into this decision with more confidence and just less fear and worry. If you want to learn more about my journey and just kind of seeing how this goes and just learning on how you can kind of do something similar to what I did, subscribe to the channel, because I'm going to be talking more about this. And also check out the videos in the description about me quitting my 9-to-5 and also just helpful tips and advice for people who want to do the same thing. If you got value from this video, be sure to drop it a like, subscribe to the channel. I will see you on my next video. Peace.